Welcome to another episode of Shiloh Creek. Where the water runs slow, the friends look out for each other, and every story starts here, pondside, with me. I'm Old Timber, the elephant elder, and today's story is the morning a bear cub tried to lift a whole log by himself, and what the friends learned when they finally lifted it together. Today, I want to ask you something, my friends. Have you ever tried to do a big thing, all by yourself? When somebody was right next to you, who could have helped? What does it mean to ask first, even before you start lifting? Listen carefully. The answer is in the story. And here is one thing for you to know. Before we start, God made each of us, my friends, with different sizes and different hands and different gifts. And there is a reason. And today's story is how the friends found that reason out. Now, gather round, friends. Come close by the pond.
Old Timber. Is this the bridge one? The one where the log goes across the water?
Yes, Bongo. It is the bridge one and the log one. Settle in. Now, settle in. Here we go. Now, this was a bright, clear morning, the kind that comes after a long night of rustly wind, where everything looks washed and the leaves shine, and the path is sprinkled with little twigs the breeze knocked down and didn't bother to clean up. And the friends had been planning, for that very morning, to walk together down to the berry patch on the south side. A small walk, a small bag for each pocket, maybe a sit-down on the flat stone, maybe a contest or two, with Zippy keeping score. But to get to the berry patch on the south side, the friends had to cross the creek. And to cross the creek, they had to take the wooden footbridge. And the wooden footbridge that morning was, as it turned out, not exactly available.
That'd be the log.
Because the wind in the night had brought down a long old log from the leaning maple on the bank, and the long old log had landed right across the middle of the footbridge, and it was lying there in the morning sun, looking dignified and immovable, and not at all sorry. Now this is where things got interesting. And the first one down to the bridge that morning, bouncing on his big paws like he'd been waiting all week, was Bongo the bear cub, and he saw the log, and his eyes got wide, and he looked at it the way you look at a job you have decided is yours, and he said,
I got this. Friends, wherever you are, don't worry. The bridge has a log. And I am a bear. And bears are literally for lifting logs.
And just behind him, because by now the friends had heard him, and were arriving from across the meadow, darted Zippy the hummingbird, wings buzzing the morning awake. And she said,
Okay, friends. I have done the scan. Log is approximately 1.8 meters long. Diameter approximately 20 centimeters. Estimated weight, given moisture content from last night's wind, between 30 and 42 kilograms. Bongo, friend. That is a 2-bear cub job. Possibly a 2-bear cub and 1 elephant job.
Zippy friend, I appreciate the math, but the math is for other bears. I am this bear. I got this.
And from up high in the leaning maple, which had, after all, just delivered the log, came Garin-Go the parrot. With feathers slightly ruffled from the breeze, the maple still remembered. And he called down, from beneath a leaf he had selected for resonance,
Behold, the obstacle! A log, long and stately, having left the maple it once was part of, has chosen this morning to lie directly across the footbridge, and Bongo the bear cub, young and strong, intends to address it single-handedly.
And at the edge of the path, slow as ever, with morning light catching on her shell, arrived Shelley the tortoise. She looked at the log, she looked at Bongo, she looked at the log again, and she said,
Bongo, that log is bigger than you.
Shelley, I know the log is bigger than me. It's not bigger than my heart.
And then, with the soft sound of small hooves on dry path, came Fern the fawn, quiet and present, wearing the morning easily on her back. And she came up beside the log and looked at it, and looked at Bongo, and said,
Bongo, I could push from the back if you wanted. I'm not very heavy, but I am pretty steady.
Fern, friend, I appreciate the offer, but I really do got this.
And then, from the wet end of the path, just past the bridge, arrived the Mud Puppy brothers, Splish, Splash, and Splosh, 3 frogs, 4 feet of bridge between them and the friends, wearing the morning's wet on their shoulders like a uniform. And Splish started,
I have a fact. Wait, no. I have a question. Why is the log on the bridge?
And also, the log is big and the bridge is small. The log, if you asked me, is overqualified for being on a bridge.
Like a bell on a cold rock. Big things, friends, are like a bell on a cold rock.
Friends, I love the thinking, but I am lifting now. Watch this. Watch this. I am going to lift the log.
And so Bongo the bear cub, with his whole heart in it, braced his back paws on the wooden bridge planks, wrapped his arms around the middle of the long old log, took the kind of breath a bear takes when he means it, and lifted. And the log moved about 4 inches, and then, because 4 inches is not enough for a log to do anything useful with, the log settled back down, and one end of it, the heavier end, slid sideways and landed, gently, exactly, on Bongo's back paw.
Oh, friends, the log is on my paw. The log is on my paw, friends, and I'm fine, I think. But the log is just right there.
Now, the friends were all standing on the bridge, and the mud puppies were standing on the other side, and the log was on Bongo's paw, and Bongo's paw was not, just at the moment, going anywhere.
Friends, I'm going to say something. I wanted to do this by myself. I wanted you to walk up and see the log gone and know that I did it. I really wanted that. And I think I wanted it so much that I didn't hear you.
Bongo. I had the numbers, friend. I said the numbers. And I think I said the numbers with the buzz on, so loud that the numbers couldn't be heard. I might have said the answer in a way that was hard to hear.
I didn't ask twice. I offered once. And when you said no, I just stopped. I could have said it again.
I said the log was bigger than you. I didn't say I would help you with it. I made the observation. I didn't make the offer.
Yes, of course you all did, my friends. Each of you saw a piece, and nobody, put the pieces together. It happens, more than you'd think. Bongo, what did you not ask before you lifted?
Old timber. I didn't ask if you wanted to help. I didn't ask what you needed me to do. I didn't ask who could do which part. I just said I had it, and then I didn't. And I think God doesn't make us all the same size for nothing.
And there's a small book by an old king named Solomon that I have been thinking of all morning. A short line in it about what happens when friends do the work together. I'll come back to that line later. For now, I think the friends have a log to lift.
Friends, I'm going to ask now. What do you need me to do?
Okay, friends. Okay. Bongo, you brace under the heavy end. That's your shoulder against the log low. Fern, you push from behind on the lighter end. Shelly, you stand on the bridge side so when the log comes free, you can call off. And Gringo, Gringo, can you keep an eye on the leaning maple in case anything else decides to come down? And Mud Puppies, friends, can you call ready from your side so we know the bridge is clear?
Eye on the maple. Duly accepted. I shall narrate any further developments, should the tree have additional opinions.
I'll push from behind. I'll dig my hooves in. Just say when.
Bridge side. I'll call off.
Ready, friends. Ready on this side. The bridge, from our angle, has no log on it. The other side has all the log.
Ready. Also, I have a fact. Wait, no. I have a question. Is the bear heavy enough to be the lifting end?
And also, the bear is heavy enough. I have checked. I checked with my eyes.
And so, with everyone ready and everyone knowing what their part was, and nobody trying to do anything by themselves, the friends lifted. And the long old log, the one that had been so dignified and immovable 5 minutes earlier, came up off the bridge planks, came over to the bank, and came down quietly in the soft earth beside the leaning maple it had once been part of, and the bridge was free, and the path to the south side was open, and it had taken, by the morning's count, about a minute.
Friends, I want to say something, and I am going to say it slowly. I think the friends are how you lift the log. I think when you ask, the answer is bigger than you. I think that's a thing.
Bongo. That's exactly the thing.
A small log, lifted together. A whole morning recovered.
And so the friends crossed the footbridge, slow on the wood, with Bongo helping Fern step over a wet patch, and Gringo riding on Bongo's shoulder, and Zippy ahead checking the planks, and Shelley bringing up the rear, and the Mud Puppies receiving the friends on the wet side with 3 small splash bows. And we walked together down to the berry patch on the south side. And the morning, as it turned out, had quite a lot in it. Now, after all of that, once the berries had been picked, and a small pile had been made on the flat stone, and Zippy had scored a contest that nobody was technically having, we sat together under the big old oak where the leaves go thickest, and looked back at the bridge and the footbridge and the spot on the bank where the long old log was now lying quietly beside the leaning maple it had come from. And I asked them, "Friends, what do you think it was in the end that made the morning work?"
I think it was when I asked instead of just lifting. And when I asked, the friends were already there. They were just waiting for me to ask.
I think it was that everybody had a part, and the parts were different sizes, and that was the point.
I think it was the algorithm, the team shape algorithm. It works better when everybody runs the same one, including me. I sometimes run my own. I think that's the fix.
I think it was that the log, which I had announced to be immovable and dignified and not at all sorry, turned out to be liftable by 6. The log, as it turned out, had been waiting for 6.
A team is bigger than a bear and bigger than my math. The morning was on the team's side.
It takes 2 of you or more to lift a log.
And also, with friends, the heavy thing gets lighter. The math is just like that.
And the best part is that you don't have to do it by yourself. Like a bell on a cold rock, but with friends.
That's it, exactly. Now before you go, splosh, splash, and splish, they have, of course, something they very much want to tell you. About the bridge, the dear chaotic creatures.
Mud puppies, mud puppies. Today, on Mud Puppy Minutes, we will explain how a bridge works.
I have a fact. Wait, no, I have a question. A bridge is the floor over the wet part, isn't it?
And also, a bridge is what you use when you don't want to get wet. Bridges were invented by someone who was already wet and didn't want to do it again.
A bridge. Friends. A bridge, if you think about it, is just a long flat thing that goes from one place to another place without touching the in-between part. It is the walk that the log refused to be.
Wait, friends. If the bridge is a flat thing and the log is a flat thing, is the log also a bridge?
And also, the log was on the bridge. So the log was a second bridge on top of the first bridge, which means the friends crossed 2 bridges this morning. 2.
Mud puppies, we have solved it. A bridge means a flat thing that takes you somewhere. And a log is a flat thing that takes you somewhere if you can lift it, which you can, if there are 6.
Well, the dear chaotic creatures, they got there in their way. A log is a flat thing that takes you somewhere. If there are 6, that's actually rather fine. I'll take it.
Old timber. What did we learn today?
When Bongo asked the friends what they needed, instead of lifting alone, that's where the morning turned. And there's a line from the Bible, my friends, from a small book by an old king named Solomon, a long, long time ago. The book is called Ecclesiastes, and the line is from chapter 4, verse 9. The line says, "Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor."
Old timber. What does that look like in an actual day for somebody who is listening right now?
Well, friend, this week, if you have a thing that feels too big, the laundry pile, the homework page, the room nobody wants to clean, try asking one other person to do it with you. Just one. Say the words out loud, "Can you do this with me?" And then see what God does with two. Until the next breeze brings us together, my friends. Ask kindly out there, little ones.
See you next time, somewhere in Shiloh Creek.